A very good evening to all the viewers, and this is a part of the Autism Awareness Month, which began in the month of April, and it will go on because autism awareness is a lifelong commitment for a lot of people. So, let's join in this moment, in this month of creating awareness, and we continue to keep the awareness on. And just based on that, we're going to have a small interaction and a discussion about how to create optimal play environments for children with autism. So, with the new advent of the CDC milestones, which focus primarily on creating more compatible sensory environments for children, with a lot of focus on social and emotional skills and developing visual skills, and trying to develop a sense of enriching environments for babies to identify children who may or may not be at a risk for autism. The reason being, play is equal for all. Every child has a right to play because play is the occupation of childhood. So it's very essential that children need to have adequate access to play-related environments. But what it is so special about a child with autism, so when you have a very young child, as young as 2 months of age, you're not really aware that he or she might or might not have autism. So when we look at those aspects, we need to understand how effectively can we create enriching environments for infants and toddlers so that they have adequate sensory related enhancing stimuli in their everyday learning. So let's come to the basics of creating an optimal play environment. So what is play? Play is any activity which engages an individual at each and every group in every stage of life. So as young babies have a play related opportunity where they would be using toys to put it in their mouth. A very simple option where they would want to put things in their mouth and the first reaction is we just snatch it away from them. Well, that's not the case because oral sensory environments are the most strongest of all the play environments. Children explore to the various senses. So that includes eyes, it includes the nose, it includes their mouth, it includes their hands, it includes movement. So we need to provide an environment which is extremely enriched but in an optimal way. The most important thing in a sensory environment, it needs to be structured. So what do you mean by structure? We mean that we do not have to clutter the play environment of the child. We have to ensure that there have to be minimal toys which the child has easy access to. So maybe you could have a small shelf in your house. If you have an independent playroom, you could use those facilities more efficiently. Or if you have play environments within your house, within maybe the drawing room or the bedroom, you need to ensure 5 major things. Number 1, the play environment has to be extremely protected. There should be no sharp edges. There should be nothing pointy around. The floor has to be not extremely smooth because the babies will slip or young children will slip. So first is no sharp edges, no pointy edges. The second thing is the ground has to give some amount of friction so that the children and the babies do not fall. The third most important thing is the toys have to be in easy access. And there should be opportunities to have open-ended play. You cannot have a toy which has either a button or it has a switch which you just press or you turn, or you have a key which goes turning round and round, or there is just sound, or there are those talking toys. That's not something which you're looking in a play environment. We need children to explore. There has to be an element of imagination. There has to be adequate creativity. That is something which is very, very important for children. So this is something which we need to know as parents, that we need to give those adequate sensory environments. So these were the 3 things. Let's take a recall. No sharp or pointy edges. The ground has to offer adequate friction and the toy should be within easy reach. However, at the same time, do encourage children to put the toys back in their place. That's something which is very important. Because this habit, if you inculcate at a younger age, it is definitely advisable. The 4th important thing is try using indigenous toys. Made in India, wooden, durable toys, even if you put in your mouth, will not cause a hazard. That's extremely essential, because no loose parts, no parts which can be easily gulped or swallowed. So it's very imperative that any kind of play has to be supervised. That's extremely essential for children, because that creates a very holistic learning. The fifth most important thing is choose toys which will be appropriate for the developmental age, not the physical age. So baby might be 4 months of age and you feel that he or she is looking very intently, very closely at you. You're not going to get a Lego Duplo for him. Use a toy which is simple, maybe a toy which makes a sound when you move it, so the baby sees the movement. Always have eye-to-eye contact. The sixth most crucial part, I mentioned 5, but yes, the sixth most crucial part, which a lot of us forget, is facial expressions. Do not have an array of emotions. It has to be a smile. It could be, have one facial expression. It takes a struggle, Enjoy the play task, and it shouldn't be like a compulsory technique which is done for them. Try to ensure the toys have a lot of texture. So you can actually create a textures mat. You could take foam sheets and apply different kinds of textures, which could be, some of the examples are, you could take a velvet sheet, you could take a leather sheet, a small piece of leather, a piece of cardboard, a piece of corrugated box, straws stuck to each other. You could take sand stuck with glue on a foam sheet. You could have plastic stuck. You could have gunny bag cloth. You could have wool stuck. So these are simple textures which children love, and they love to touch it. So post the pandemic, we're seeing a tremendous increase in the need for touching. Children love to touch, and we have kids, who will be touching everything under the sun. And believe me, after a point of time, it does get irritating. But let me tell you one thing. There is a child here who is wanting to explore and learn through the environment. So try focusing a lot on communication, which does not mean simply using words or sentences. It is about non-verbal, that is through eye expressions, through gestures. So you're going to sing a rhyme for your baby? Have actions involved, because the baby is going to understand using 2 different types of movements, such as looking with the eyes and also with using actions. So you're going to have twinkle, twinkle, little star. And we sang twinkle, twinkle, little star. We were 4 words here. And we did movements of the 5 fingers. So this is something which babies are going to associate, that a star makes this movement. So this is how you associate a non-action based play task. Non-action as in there is a element of play which is communication play. Try to involve different components of play, such as communication, using symbolic play. Just pick up a small spoon and try to pretend you're eating, and the child is going to imitate you. Imitation and instruction following are 2 very important components in play which create a lot of changes in the child's play and learning. It's very important for parents to spend some amount of their day with their children to ensure that we have adequate sensory related experiences for all of them. And a very important aspect in play-based learning with children with autism is that the kind of play. So a lot of children with autism we see have stereotyped patterns. When we mean stereotype, they would just play with a single toy every time. So however, if you know that the same play task is being done regularly, it is always advisable to change the play tasks. So you do not have only the child playing with cars or with dinosaurs or with dolls or with beads. You need to have a variety of play tasks, but in a gradual manner. So it has to be slow and steady. It can't be suddenly giving the child only cars and cars and cars. So you have kids lining them up. The moment you see lining of objects, because they want a specific structure. So try moving out the structure in a different manner by changing the position of the cars, maybe into a shape. So you've lined it, but now it becomes a shape. So that's how you move out from the stereotype patterns. It's very important that these patterns need to change, because children are learning to evolve over a period of time. And the evolution will come only and only if we have play tasks becoming much more comprehensive in nature. With older children, they need to have play which is outdoor play, play which is with other children. So encouraging play-based opportunities with peers is very, very important. That is something which we really need to remember, that as children grow older, play tasks change dramatically, and they will create optimal environments for children only and only if we develop good play-based techniques for them, so that they can understand how to develop adequate opportunities in terms of understanding how to effectively play. So this is something which we need to remember, and we need to understand that play-based learning is actually quite difficult, and especially for children with autism, you need to understand that they tend to have specifications of things which gradually takes time, but social interaction along with play is very, very essential, and this is how we move on with play-based learning. So this is all what we have today, and I hope I can definitely provide you some tips to take away when you work with children. And especially for children with autism, some variety of learning helps them to be effective in developing play environments. So thank you so much for being a part of today's session. Thank you.